Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we are live in UFRL for some little five-lappers, and we open up at Melbourne, Australia. So heading into Albert Park, of course, we'll give the drivers a bit of time to get their setups on, and people should now be knowing to ready up as well, please. But yes, hope everybody is all good and looking forward to seeing what racing we have tonight. We've got a few people still in the trialist section involved as well. They are Racer 131009. We're going to call you Racer, it makes things a bit easier. We've got Kesonator, that's one Haas, one McLaren, and Racer Beer in the Kick Sauber as well. Sadly, Merc, none of them will work, sound alerts, until I get onto the sound alert thing, but I haven't been able to yet, so they won't work until I'm able to get onto it to see what's up with it. But yeah, they literally just won't work at the moment, sadly. I don't know if they work on my channel yet, I'm not sure, because I think you've got to do something. It worked. Oh, okay, I can't hear it then. Hang on. Must be a reason why I can't hear it, and you guys can. Let's see if I can find it.
Hey, wake your ass up. Let's go. It's race time.
Well, actually, it might be a good thing that I'm not hearing it all, because the number of ones you're doing at the moment is quite a lot. So you know what? We'll let it be heard on the stream. That is absolutely fine. All well and good for that. Well, I'm happy they're working then, that's good. Right. But yeah, so we got 3 people from the trialist section. The rest are UFRL members, so if you're already in the league, make sure you're trying to drive as cleanly as possible. I am aware Jar Jar Bing hasn't been doing much racing on this game, I do believe. So I think he in particular would be one to watch because he might struggle a bit compared to others. And obviously we know Doug is a bit notorious for being one of those to watch no matter what. So, you know, no, I'm joking. Definitely one of the drivers who has improved a lot over recent seasons. But anyways, it is 5 red lights. And it is go, go, go! A struggle off the line, a real struggle off the line. I've never seen that before for my Batman. Maybe he's not available. But PRV Widget leads into turn 1 and side by side come through to McLaren. And also, I think it was the Red Bull who's dropped down a little bit, Jar Jar Bing. But he's still fighting outlay. You've got Salty Stevens up into P4, looking very quick on this year's edition. And Salty Stevens just fighting his way through now, trying to draw the Red Bull offline there in the form of Jar Jar Bing. He goes a bit wide himself, however, in the Aston Martin. Kingy the King just behind with Kesonator. A host of cars in the mid-pack here with Kingy OG ahead of Racer. Hazer, Pesci, Poem, a Racer against you got Bia, is what I'm going to call it, Bianca in P9 going at it with Hazer at the moment. I'll just go directly on board. You've got the Williams of Pesci there as well on the left side. And currently Racer Beer squabbling then. Hazers ahead of Kingy OG. They have made the move stick, but Racer Beer still in there side by side there. Racer and Mr. Poem. I think Mr. Poem has just made the move. Racer dropping down the order. I Am Batman and Smail Lave as well are there too. We'll turn the telemetry off, let people use the battery how they wish. Incredible battling going up here though. There's still goal. And McLaren, I think. Kesonator, I think, has bashed into one of the cars there, sadly, but still going at it. The Haas on the inside line there. Absolute remarkable as Racer going at it with Mr. Poem. They're still squabbling. Kesonator just ahead. Racer Beer and Hazer and Pesci have all got through cleanly, but that's not too clean there. Bit of contact between Mr. Poem and I believe Racer again, so not going particularly well. Go further up the field. Kingy the King is now tracking down Salty Stevens. Doug has got an unassailable advantage. 2.5 seconds clear. He is dominating at the lead of this pack, but can he hold on to it? I think his AI level is a bit too low. You just got to increase it. Oh, the Red Bull goes incredibly deep there. Jar Jar Bing. And that will allow for Hazer to make one move. And that allows for Pesci to follow through the 2 Williams drivers, taking the Red Bull driver apart. Racer Beer is out of the race. Racer Beer is out of the race, directly on board for that one. Crikey. So Racer Beer has just smashed into the wall. And there you go. The Kick Sauber not continuing in this one. Not quite certain what happened there. Maybe misjudged her speed into the corner, maybe. But it wasn't really a corner. It's one of those bends, but you don't really deem it a corner. Right then, so we got Hazer on the rear of Kingy the King. Pesci still there, Mr. Poem. A little bit of a gap to the two Williams drivers. The gap is closing up though between Doug and Salty Stevens as Hazer sets the pass up, and Hazer making a move down the inside on Kingy the King, goes a bit wide, and through goes Pesci as well. So Pesci making his way up into the top four. To be fair to Hazer, he's been racing pretty well, going down the inside on Salty Stevens. Salty holds on to it. Salty Stevens could be one to watch potentially even in Tier 1 next season, going by his pace that we've seen in his 5-lappers. Well, I've seen him once or twice, and he looks very quick in time trials as well. Doug's Tier 1, I mean, well, he's been very impressive so far in this race. Hazelden is making the move on Salty Stevens. I think Pesci will likely try and follow through. Don't forget, you get 4 DRS zones here at Australia as well. And Pesci will be about to get an opportunity on this occasion as Smail Lape has left. I think we can re-invite him if he wants to rejoin it. But let's go down towards Racer. Oh, getting close towards Mr. Poem. They did get close a lap or so ago when there was contact formed between them, but they seem okay at the moment. As I say, that Racer braking very, very late. Oh, down the inside, and that's a pretty decent move in all fairness. Can Mr. Poem get it back? He'll be going all out for this one, and they will go side by side again. No moves being made further forward, so they are side by side with Poem and Racer. Surely Poem has got the move he has. Racer was trying to fight it hard, but he was unable to stay ahead. So Mr. Poem up into the top 6 for now. Back on board with Racer, just struggling a little bit with a twitch or so. Ironically, as we're streaming on Twitch as well, but Racer still in the rear of Mr. Poem, very close. We're going to quickly go up towards Hazer, who has caught the rear of Doug now. So Hazer, Salty Stevens and Pesci are right here, and Hazer going through on Doug. And we're on the penultimate lap already, and it's looking good for Hazer to win. Doug in P2, Pesci P3, and Salty Stevens is right in there as well. Tier 2, don't forget last season, Salty Stevens. I think he did he get 3rd place in the standings at the end of it? I believe he did. Oh, bit of contact there. Pesci down the inside of Doug. Goes very deep there, Pesci. We did see that a little bit the other day, actually, from Pesci. So he needs to be a bit careful with his braking. Doesn't seem particularly on point at this moment in time. And they also relate all 3 of them have effectively lost that DRS to the leader. Salty Stevens. Right, left. We think he's taking Maggot to Beckett, but he's actually taking Australia's final corner. So a little bit different normally those corners, but there you go. A big difference, I'd say. Let's go towards Racer and Mr. Poem. Then they are going side by side again into turns 3 and 4. But Mr. Poem just dropping back again. He will get the TRS later on, as long as Racer doesn't get in that 1 second window on Salty Stevens. He's not too far away, but heading into the activation point just now, he is not going to be getting DRS. Neither will Salty Stevens. Doug may get DRS on the rear of Pesci, and he has got DRS on the rear of Pesci. But he is losing a lot of time, so he's definitely not going to come away with the win on this one, or even 2nd place. But it should still be a podium for Douglas here. Mr. Poem then. Oh! Contact there between Poem and Racer. And also Racer has... I'm not sure which one of those reset, but either way, Racer and Mr. Poem in contact again. That won't be great for Mr. Poem. Oh, well, certainly won't be great for Racer if Racer wants to race here. Anyways, let's go and have a look again on Salty Stevens. Currently tracking down Doug, 7 tenths, 6 tenths, half a second. He's not quite going to have enough. Hazer does win the opening Grand Prix at Australia with Pesci P2, so it is a Williams 1 and 2. Look at the gaps between Hazer to Pesci and then Pesci to Doug. Exactly the same at 1.61 seconds. Salty Stevens taking P4, but Doug on the podium again. He was on the podium, I think. Was he on the podium once last time around? He may have been. Salty Stevens P4. Kingy the King holds his own in P5. Race in the end at P6 after a couple of collisions with Mr. Poem. Kingy OG P7. I am Batman P8. Kezenator P9. The final point does go to Smail Labe, who's not in the lobby at the moment. PRV Widget, Jar Jar Bing, Mr. Poem, and Racer Beer not scoring points there. Why in the world do people brake so much for turn 6? It's brush on the brakes, 2 downshifts, and full throttle. Some people, to be fair, don't use automatic gears or manual gears. I mean, it just depends, really. I mean, I used to not use manual gears, but I am doing it on this year's game. Same with no traction as well, but which the traction is easier than last year's game, but again, I think since the update, it has made it. There has been an impact on attraction since Friday's update. To be fair, I know you've said that you don't feel it, but I do think, from what I've seen, I think you're losing the car a bit more than what you were before the update. A couple of, like, not spins, but like half spins and stuff, you know what I mean. Anyways, Hazer, there you go, P12 to P1, Pesci P14 to P2. I think that would give Hazer that extra benefit, really, the fact that he was able to hold on and beat Pesci in a race. Is Hazer starting to get used to these cars now, which will be crucial if he wants to have a championship fight with Pesci and maybe whoever else is quick enough in the seasons to come. But there you go, the top 10 scoring points. Hazer, Pesci and Doug getting your first podium in Australia. So we can head to round 2, and round 2 will be at Imola. So again, people can pretty much ready up when they wish. Just ensure when you're on the grid to let Mr. Poem ready up, please. But apart from that, it's all well and good. So yeah, we'll let people do as they want to do. And there you go, people are readying up. I'm not sure, I think, was it Algary? I didn't know if he wanted to return. I can invite him back in, to be fair. I don't know if he does want to come back. Maybe he does, he can rejoin. If not, it's absolutely fine. I'm not really keeping an eye on the Discord, so please, if you have anything to say that's needed to be seen on the stream, please let me know directly on the stream. Otherwise, yeah, Smail, please quickly get in the car. There you go, he's got into the Mercedes. But yeah, I'm not on the Discord at the moment, so please, if you need to say something, I can't see the Discord right now. So there you go. I can, to be fair, get it up, but I'm not going to because it'll be easier to keep it off for now. I'll be able to check back on it later on though if I need to. As long as people are letting Mr. Poem ready up, that's absolutely fine. If not, then I might need to think about kicking someone if they keep readying up. But I'm presuming the one readying up is Mr. Poem. The reason why Mr. Poem is because I don't think it's fair that people ready up early and people can't get setups on. When they don't actually have setups, you want to make adjustments, but you can't because somebody's readied up early. And 30 seconds, you know, if you've only got to make a couple of tweaks, it's not bad. But 30 seconds to do a full setup is very different. That's why I think it's important to have somebody doing that job. Especially in the 5-lappers. I mean, in normal league races, you get 5-minute breaks. So for those who are new, obviously, I think you've got... I don't know if they're all watching. I mean, I know Racer Beer is. I know Kesonator is as well. I don't know if Julian is, but there will be a 5-minute break for races anyway. So effectively, you will be having to wait that 5-minute period. But anyways, let's see what Imola has for us. It should be a good, tasty race. Right. There you go. Let's see then. I want to see what the grid order is as well, actually. I mean, obviously they're all starting on soft, so it shouldn't matter too much. Is there anybody there that I think should be actually starting lower? To be fair, I don't know what the 2 Williams drivers are still starting up there. But since the update, they shouldn't be starting that high up. Because Williams is the second weakest performing car. So I don't understand why both Williams drivers are starting higher than anyone else. I get the Kick Sauber starting at the back. But Hazer and Pesci shouldn't really be starting ahead of Mr. Poem and Racer, in my opinion. But there you go. Anyways, Kesonator then off the line, and PRV Widget in P2. Got the 2 Red Bulls in there as well. Go directly on board as Batman is around the outside. There's carnage between the two Red Bulls as well. And I think, who was it down further back? But Kesonator's got away well. So Kesonator leads a squabble going on further back with PRV Widget fending off currently. But he goes wide. Two cars go well wide, in fact. I think, who else was the other one? There's one other car did go very wide. Pesci is struggling as well. He's out at the back of the field heading down. So he's not doing well, but PRV Widget did have a struggle there. Smail Abe in there as well, but it is I Am Batman ahead of Kesonator and Jar Jar Bing. Again, almost side by side there, Kesonator and Jar Jar Bing with Batman in there too. And there you go, they are side by side now. Jar Jar Bing around the outside of Kesonator. Kesonator almost trying to hold it on the inside. I mean, there was never going to happen there, which allows for Hazer to swoop on through, and Hazer up into P3. Smail Abe in P5 at the moment. He is right there, but again, you've got Hazer now on the inside of Jar Jar Bing, and Jar Jar into the gravel, and that will give Hazer the place now. Oh, the McLaren of Doug. Doug is out of the race. He has smashed into the wall. Didn't even try to brake, and Doug is out of the race. I Am Batman then with a 1.4 second lead over Hazer, and then you got Jar Jar being DRS enabled on this lap. I think Doug just wanted to do that for the stream, if I'm being honest with you. Smail Abe in P5 on the rear of the McLaren of Kesonator. Further back, got some battles. Mr. Poem again with Racer. Hopefully they don't come into contact on this one. Racer being retiring on this one as well, and Pesci too. 3 retirements. Quite quick, in fact. What I might do for the next race, though, is change the order so that it won't be a realistic starting order. It will just be changed a bit. Then again, unless we did a one-shot quaddie. Should we do a one-shot quaddie for the next one? Be interesting. See what people's pace is like. I mean, I get a rough idea, but it's tricky with some of those that we haven't seen a lot of. And I'm talking the 2 Red Bulls we haven't seen much of. Smail Abe we haven't seen really. Racer, obviously the first time we're seeing him. PRV Widget, haven't really seen him on this game either. So about 4 or 5 drivers on track, well, or in this race, I haven't seen a lot of on this game. Obviously Racer with the several numbers afterwards, I've only seen on this occasion. The first race wasn't the most pleasant from him, but let's see if they can go side by side here. I mean, didn't really count as going side by side, but you get the gist. It was a clean overtake on that occasion from Racers. He's trying to catch up to the McLaren of Kesonator. Poem goes a bit wide in the Alpine, but here comes Racer down the inside on Kesonator. The 2 trialists go at it. And I think, again, it's a fairly clean move there from Racer, so he's doing it right at Imola on lap 3, that is. I mean, I can't judge the last 2 laps, but on lap 3 seems okay. Hazer's still leading, but it's only half a second to I Am Batman. It's not like he's running away with things. Hazer still got some pressure on his rear, and that is from the 2 Red Bull drivers. Equal cars as well, so the 2 Tier 3 drivers are really holding their own. And is Batman going to get the DRS? I believe he will, due to the early activation point. Good evening to Johnny, hope you're doing good. I imagine we'll see you in Tier 1 next season. But anyways, let's see. Salty Stevens very close to the rear of Jar Jar Bing. Again, another driver who does seem much quicker on this game compared to last year. And Salty Stevens up into 3rd position. And also Hazer has lost the place to I Am Batman. So Batman now leading the race. And Hazer's used quite a bit of battery as well. So Batman is able to battle with Hazer at the moment. But there you go. That'd be interesting if I mean, the 2 Red Bull drivers have done particularly well in this race at Imola so far, which is interesting. I wasn't expecting to see the Red Bulls flying high. Now, obviously in real life you do, but at this time I wasn't expecting it. But they are doing well. But Hazer, look at the traction he gets out of there. Grip hacks. Hazer storming through then. And again, that will probably give Batman a DRS, but also Salty Stevens in there as well, within a couple of tenths of a second. Just refunded the cable 30 minutes of gameplay. Oh no. But was that before the update or after the update? I imagine it was before, presuming. Ooh, get close there, Salty Stevens, but he has made a move on I Am Batman and up into 2nd position then. Will he get DRS on Hazer? Salty Stevens gets a 2-second penalty, so it's pretty much irrelevant as we start the final lap. Hazer looking for back-to-back victories. Salty Stevens should hold on the second on track, but what about the two Red Bulls? Poem and Racer now down the inside on Mr. Poem. Oh, he was there to be fair. He was there to be fair. I think they were side by side there. I think there should have been space for Racer, really. Downloaded today and booted. Oh, crikey. Okay. Not great then, really. I do agree that the game compared to the last year, the handling it's different. Let's just say that. Very different. I think it's one of those, though, where 30 minutes isn't enough time on this game to really say if you can get used to it. I was thinking when I started playing it for 30 minutes, I didn't like it. I'm not saying I love it. I don't. And I'm not saying I'm particularly strong on this game. I'm not. I'm not even as strong as what I was on last year's game. But it's one of those when handling, yeah, it could definitely be a lot better. Anyways, Hazer again, back-to-back wins, and so making his march if he does want to win that Tier 1 championship. Salty Stevens, second place. A spin there from Poem, but it is a two Red Bulls, P3 and P4. Great effort from those two. Kezenator coming through into P5. Mr. Poem, P6. Kingy in P7. That's Kingy OG. Racer P8, Kingy the King P9, and PRV Widget taking the final point. So I think what we might try next one then is a one-shot quaddy. That should effectively see the quicker drivers start higher up as well. So we'll see how that goes. What is it? 8:30. Yeah, we've got enough time. It does seem like people are letting Mr. P ready up though, at least. So it's pretty decent. Right, the fastest laps then. Salty Stevens 1:16.307. Mr. Poem was also very close to that as well. Not many in the 1:16s. You got Racer in there, and you also got Hazer. But there you go, Salty Stevens, quickest driver on that one, but Hazer was the one who secured the victory. The standings right now, Hazer leading the way 20 points ahead of Salty Stevens. But again, I think for the next one, I'm going to see how one-shot quaddy goes. So there you go, we're going to test out the one-shot qualifying for this one. Try to remember what round 3 was as well. Was it maybe Austria? I'm thinking in my mind. It might be Austria round 3. So we've had Australia, we've had Imola, and I do believe it is Austria next. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. No need to hold back for me, it's bad. Yeah, I mean, again though, it's one of those, if you were used to last year's game, and if you went from F1 to 23 to 24, then yeah, that would be the general view, I think, for most people. Right, let's get one-shot quaddy on then for this one. See how it goes. Steve Lane is also joining. He could pretty much go in. I don't know if he knows to go in one of the cars. I still would like him ideally in one of the lower cars. Just in case we go back. I don't think we're going to go away from one-shot quaddy now, though. So I think we're likely going to stick in this. But just stick with your current cars. And Steve Lane can pick whatever car. I'm not really too bothered now. And there you go. It's actually gone in a Haas, so to be fair to him, he has gone in one of the Tier 1 cars. But yeah, so it will be one-shot qualifying now. So again, please let Mr. Poem ready up for this. Obviously, now we can ready up. You know, that's fine. But yeah, when you're on the grid, please let Mr. Poem ready up so people can get their setups. Also, what I'm going to quickly change, hang on. I'm going to turn Park Ferme off, just in case people don't get their setups on. You can change it going into the race. Makes it a bit fairer. So there you go. Park Ferme is now off for anybody who is listening to the stream. So again, if you do fail to get a setup on or fail to make all the changes you wanted to, you can make adjustments going into the race. I don't think it will impact things much, even if you're a sweat, because 1 lap to 5 laps won't be a major difference really. But yeah, let's go. We can ready up on this one. And again, make sure to let Mr. Poem do the ready up. I'll give space to everyone who's quicker than me. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Mr. P pushed me on the grass on lap 1, and only a few corners before Salty Stevens pushed me off. Yeah. I mean, if you've got a clip, feel free to send me and I'll have a look. But yeah, I think the start of the races has been a bit hectic so far, which is why I want to see how lows would likely be in Tier 1 next season. I want to see how they would do at the front of the field. Austria as well, I mean, is one of those tracks where you just want to go ultimate pace. Thanks, King OG. Hope you are doing good. Had a good couple of races so far, actually. But yeah, let's see how the one-shot quaddy goes. Again, Park Ferme is off, so if you do fail to get your setup on, then you will be able to sort it out for the race, basically. So it makes it a bit easier. But I don't know how quickly these people will be readying up for this one-shot quaddy. Tier 1 is going to be messy. Well, yeah, I mean, I think, again, the new game doesn't help with the handling, I have to say. Because even for me, I don't feel great with the handling. I don't feel great wheel-to-wheel racing even. I'll try and stay clean, obviously, but it's one of those where I do think it's more of a challenge to try and keep your car under control. And track limits for me not going well, gotta say. That was fast, Van Imler. Yeah, the 2 Red Bulls did good. They did good. Obviously, we're now on board with the Steel Lane, the one who has just come into it. Let's see how he goes then into turn 1, out of turn 1, and it will run you straight through into turns 2 and 3. Yes, this is considered turn 2, and this is considered turn 3. Don't really see the need for it. I reckon they just didn't want to do single figures for the number of corners here, because there's 10 corners in total, and for some reason, again, this is turn 4. But I'm pretty sure they just didn't want to go to turn 9. They wanted turn 10 as well. I was thinking of coming back, but you guys aren't making me want to. Sorry, the game is brilliant. Honestly, it's breathtaking. The closed car control just makes you stay on track the whole time. Yeah, apart from that, yeah, honestly, it's a brilliant game. Absolutely well made. So yeah, Steel Lane looks like it's going to go in the midfield. PRV Widget retiring. Smail Lab at the moment. A little bit of a struggle through into turn 10. Hayes does go quickest. Quite a few retirements, not just a couple. Race to be, I think Salty Stevens was one of the others as well. Smail Lab goes P8. Hayes are quickest for the one-shot quaddy again, suggesting that he does have the pace here. Oh, he edges out Pesci. Oh, wow. That Racer as well in P3. Done a good time there. But Hazer and Pesci separated by 0.04 of a second. Yeah, interesting times. Kesonate at 3.4. He was on mediums though. Kingy OG must have made some mistakes. Smail laid down there. Kingy the King quite low down as well. C-Lane 1.9. Mr. Poem 1.7. So a few mistakes I imagine were made by the likes of Mr. Poem, Kingy the King, and Kingy OG most likely as well. What am I seeing? Another fast Dutch guy. Wait, is that Julian? Racer? Is he Dutch as well? Oh, crikey, okay. I didn't realise that. We should pay attention when it goes back onto the menu. But yeah, let's see the race director again. These are the grid order. As much as the 2 Red Bulls had a good race last time around, they're starting P13 and P14 here. Salty Stevens P15 as well, so he'll be one to watch. Racer B a P12 after the invalidation. End of the day, if you're starting down the grid and complain you're starting down the grid, it's your own fault now. So, make sure you get your one-shot quaddy in and do not invalidate is pretty much what you need to do. Anyways, 1 light, 2, 3, 4, and it's 5 red lights here at Spielberg. And a host of drive-through penalties, but it's go, go, go! And Hazer, oh, what a start from Douglas! Almighty stuff! And Doug dominating the field into turn 1. Hazer goes a bit wide, but he's trying to get the place back. Racer and Nan. Here comes Pesci! And Pesci is going to go side by side with Racer as well into turn 3. But look at that, Hazer's made the move and they're all going, all guns blazing as the Mercedes are struggling in the background. Smale Labour, I do believe. But it is Hazer now leading Doug, still in the fight here in P2. I mean, he's used so much battery, it's absolutely incredible. Look how close it is at the moment. Hazer from Doug, from Pesci, and Racer in there. Mr. Poem in the top 5 as well. And further back, you've got Kingy the King side by side almost with Steelane. Steelane in the end. It was very wide, goes Doug. Doug extremely wide. Crikey, that was an effort there. But Hazer and Pesci now going 1 and 2. Racer in P3. Poem up into P4 now, making a couple of solid moves. Doug is side by side. Has he got any damage? He has got damage. Doug is into the pits then. Oh, he's got a drive-through penalty, of course. He doesn't have damage. He's got a drive-through. One of, I believe, may have been 4 drivers potentially to get drive-through penalties. That is absolutely absurd. Must have all been following each other when they were going. But anyways, back to the 2 Williams, and they're still seeing Racer is now leading Mr. Poem up into 3rd place side by side with Hazer. Great move around the outside there from the Alpine. And Poem now up into P3. Hazer dropping a few places since he was leading the race. Is he trying to hold on to his battery as he goes a bit deep, almost into Mr. Poem. King in the King then is the one holding up Steelane. Racer B is Salty Stevens making a place on Smale Laban up into the top 8. I do believe still has that drive-through penalty to serve. There you go, that's the penalty situation. So the only driver with a penalty to serve is Salty Stevens, a drive-through for him. And that would drop him out of the top 10 for sure. So Kingy OG is net P10 at the moment. But Hazer P4 is trying to catch Mr. Poem. Poem did go very wide. Salty Stevens also receives a 2-second time penalty, but he does stay on track. Maybe he just wants to have some battles, knowing that he will not be getting any points here. Hazer then is going to go round the outside. Oh, Mr. Poem. Has he held it together? Oh, what's happened there? Pesci seemed very slow on the apex. Very lucky to avoid any real contacts there, both Hazer and Mr. Poem. But there you go, Hazer down the inside on Pesci. It looks much more racy than he was about a week or so ago, Hazer, when Pesci was absolutely dominant. Pesci not finding himself the dominant figure on this time around. Side by side with Mr. Poem. Is it the update doing its magic? Has something happened to Pesci in the last few races? Whatever the case, he has gained the place back on Mr. Poem. Brilliant side-by-side squabbling between the pairing. Pesci back up onto the podium. Racer does have a 2-second time penalty. So as things stand, he will be off the podium. It will be the 2 Williams and the Alpine, as things stand, in the top 3. We're on the penultimate lap of the race as well. So Racer leading. And then you've got Salty Stevens is now into the pit as well. Further back, you've still got some battles going on. Racer Bia is pretty much in a world of her own at the moment. Let's go back towards Pesci then. But Racer Bia has found her way up into the top 5 now. As Kesonator ahead. Oh! I said ahead. He was ahead for a moment, but he's lost the place again to Kingy OG. Did seem to go very deep there to the fact that he does have DRS. So he must have just broken far too late, as I say that. He pretty much does the same thing there, Kesonator. And that's why you're not in the league. Let's go back up the field then towards Hazer. We know what's going on down there, sadly. It's not great. But Racer ahead of Hazer, ahead of Pesci and Mr. Poem. They're going to start the final lap here of this race. Oh, Racer going very slidey. That will mean Hazer will certainly get the DRS. Mr. Poem with a 2-second penalty. He's just got to stay in that DRS and hope the battling is not too big between these drivers, but he just seemed like he's going to lose out on a place on the podium now. If we go to the gap to the leader, it's here, there you go. As you can see, it's looking good for the 2 Williams, and Hazer making a move, but they are down the inside again. Pesci, you need to sort out your braking, man. What is he doing? He's done it again. He's done it, a few days ago, I do believe. I mean, he's got to improve. If he wants to be racing, he's got to improve. Racer then going side by side with Hazer. Pesci is now leading, but I mean, yeah, if you're braking like that, Pesci, I might just start you down lower in the grid, you know. But that's quite poor. Keep on braking like that. Late braking once again. Not going to go good for you in the upcoming season. Oh, that was... How has the game managed to ghost Racer at the perfect time there? Wow. Either way, Pesci and Hazer do get 1 and 2 again. Mr. Poem loses out to Racer Beer. Oh, what is going on the line? But Racer Beer, Mr. Poem in P4, Kingy the King P5, Steelane P6 ahead of Racer P7, Jar Jar Bing P8 ahead of Kingy OG by barely a hundredth of a second there. Incredibly close between those two. Kesonator top 10 and taking the final point as well. Then you got Widget, Doug, Salty Steven, Smail and I Am Batman at the back of the field. Yeah, Pesci, you just got to sort out that braking, I think, mate. It's just getting a little bit tedious at the moment. Speaking of sorting out that braking, Kesonator is another one. That race was not particularly great to watch. But yeah, one of those where I think on this game, again, I'm not saying the braking is easy. It's probably difficult. Again, it's difficult to control the car naturally on this game anyway compared to last year. But you've still got to brake earlier when it comes to league racing. It's a double overtaking lap 2 or 3, P12 to P3. Well, maybe start higher up in a one-shot quali, then it'll be easier to watch. But yeah, in all fairness, some of the racing was okay. But I think a couple of drivers were a bit messy, let's just say that. So fast lap on that one was Racer, 105.636. Very close again between the two. Williams Racer Beer also setting a strong fastest lap as well. But yeah, when Racer was the quickest on track, but it was two Williams 1 and 2 for Pesci and Hazer. Racer Beer coming back from P12 to take a podium. Right, so again, what should we do for this one? This is round 4 Belgium. I think we might change something on this one. What can we change? So I don't think reverse is the way. Could go random, but again, I don't feel like random is the best. Should we go custom grid? If we go custom grid, I'm gonna actually. Okay, nah, we'll leave it. I'll go back to doing one shot. There you go. Yep, 2 seconds. There you go. Right, we'll do one shot then. Where am I looking? Not sure which chat I'm looking at the moment. I think we can go on this though. But it's one shot quali again. And then round 5. Round 5 will be after this one. Again, it might just be a one-shot quali, but round 6 Belgium, could we do something a bit different for that one? No, round 6 Belgium, sorry. Round 4 is Belgium. Round 6 is at Brazil. We could maybe do something a bit different for that one. Alright, let's go for this run then. See how Belgium goes. Um, well, so PRV Widget took some inspiration from me in turn 4 on lap 1. Oh, great. I mean, the question is, was it as bad as your one? Um, didn't have to do that, it's all good. To be fair, I didn't see giving the place back, but I did see the contact. Just gotta relax on the braking, Kesonator. Absolutely the same for Pesci, though. Pesci needs to absolutely watch that braking. Right, let's go. One shot quality then for Belgium again. Please let Mr. Poem do the ready up. Right, let's see then. Got a couple of seconds and we'll get a one shot quality on for Spa. This is round 4. Again, it's got us on with Steel A. Let's see who has the ultimate top speed into turn 1. It looks like King of the King potentially has the most top speed. See if we can get to one of these tier 1 drivers, and I say that, they're both down the field. It's Pesci and Hazer. But Racer currently in P1, Salty Stevens right there as well in P2. And you've got King of the King, Racer Beer in the top 4, Smale A, but both Pesci and Hazer barely in the top 10 at the moment. P10 Pesci, P12 Hazer. Surely going to change for the Sector 1 split. It's really not. It's really not changing. Oh, he's invalidated as well, Pesci. So he will be starting down the field. I'll say that. Look who's now P1. Hazer's P1. So he's left a lot of his battery as well for Sector 3, which is interesting. Because obviously the hot lap mode is not really hot lap mode. But yeah, it's interesting how he's keeping 50% battery available. Compare that to everyone else. Racer still got 70%, having a couple of twitches, however, may cost him some time to race a beer. Again, Racer Beer has plenty of battery as well, so let's see Hazer then. 50% battery and Purple through the Sector 2 split, but the two behind have more battery than Hazer. Hazer's not using his overtake mode now. Interesting. Is he not using it for a reason? He's going to have about 40%. Is he using now? Surely he's using it. No. I mean, he was using it a little bit, but still, he left a lot of time in the bag there. He is on pole by 8/10 from Racer Beer, but he still had a lot of battery right at the end there. Anyways, I think only 9 drivers got a lap in there. PRV Widget would have been the 10th, but he also got a disqualification at the end of it. So the order will be Hazer 8.5 to Racer Beer, just ahead of Racer. King of the King P4, Doug P5, King OG P6, Steelane P7, 3 seconds off the pace there. I am Batman P8, and Kesonator in P9. Further back, then you got Pesci, Salty Stevens, Widget, Smale Abe, and Jar Jar Bing in P14. See what the standings are like as well. Hazer 26 points to Pesci. You got Salty Stevens in 3rd as well. King of the King in 4th. He's done pretty well, King of the King, so far. I think he's taken points at each race we've done. Can he continue that into round 4. Yeah, the racing tonight is... Again, some of it's been okay, but a lot of it, people are just needing to relax and break earlier. Is pretty much what people need to do. Hopefully this one can be better. I think people need to think in their minds that, you know, you've got to try and race like you would in a league race and not go for these sends at every corner, at every available opportunity. It's just not the way to go. If you keep doing that, you probably won't end up in the league. So there you go. Anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's 5 red lights here at Spa, and it's go, go, go! It's pretty slow at the front, in fact. Pesci retired straight away. Okay, Pesci's out. But anyways, Hayes a racer B. Oh my... What's gone on there? Racer is into the wall with... I think Racer and Jar Jar Bing out there as well. Yeah, I don't know what Racer's been doing. I'm going to be honest. Not a great racer. Oh my gosh, what's happened here? Oh my god. What are they doing? There's carnage all over the place. What on earth are these drivers trying to do? King of the King is leading. Racer Beer and Doug. Well, these three seem to have gotten away cleanly enough. You would have thought that's the best way to go, starting at the front of the field, but Racer... Well, there you go, Racer was pretty much up there, but has left the session, might make it a bit cleaner. King OG in 4th place as well. Let's go back to Racer Beer, making a move around the outside on King of the King. Does she hold it? Gonna try a switch back, and again she'll be on the outside line, but she'll be back onto the inside. Here we go. Will she go for the move? She'll hold off again, go for another switchback. She's doing a switchback. It's like a trio set of switchbacks. Oh, onto the curb, and off she goes. Obviously not one to want to touch the curb, but there you go. Racer Beer touching the curb, and she spins as a result. It would have been a nice sequence of corners, a good amount of battling there between herself and King of the King. If it weren't for the curb being there, that would have been interesting to see what would have happened. Now got a 2-second penalty, as well as Salty Stevens does make a move round the outside, which leads to the inside of the corner on I Am Batman through the chicane and into turn 1 up into 4th place, unless the Red Bull goes for an overtake. Hazer now on the outside of I Am Batman onto the curb as well. Got to be careful. The curbs do not seem overly nice around here, but they are almost going to go alongside Fouet Rouge. They are almost there. Either way, Doug now is up into the lead, ahead of Kingy the King and into P1. So there you go, doing a pretty solid effort so far. So Doug and Kingy the King. Kingy the King has done very well though in these few races. He's done good on that consistency, getting some solid points. Seems a bit like what I was doing in Tier 2 last season, to be fair. Not the quickest, but you still get a good amount of points each race. And that's what he's been doing. Let's go towards Hazer then, on the rear of I Am Batman, trying to get into the top 5. The Red Bull keeping the Williams at arm's length, but for how much longer? A little bit of contact. I think it was more with Batman going a bit wider than Hazer was expecting, but Hazer then is still going to be having a look on the move, and also having a look as Kingy OG. Have a look round the outside. Can they try a little switch back? Not quite on. And what about Hazer as well? Still right behind. Go back then towards this 4-way battle for 3rd place. Salty Stevens, Kingy OG, I Am Batman, and Hazer, who will get the podium. Doug and Kingy the King still trading places at the front of the field as well. Kingy the King will get DRS on this lap, but Salty Stevens is still the one in prime position for that podium. Will he hold it together? Let's see, currently just going through into turn 1, but holding back at the moment King OG, as is both Batman and Hazer as well. But Hazer now does get the line, and that, as a result, makes a move on I Am Batman. Great move out of turn 1 there, and now Hazer is also charging forward towards King OG, and round the outside, out of a Rouge, and on the Camel Straight. He will get the move done, but here comes I Am Batman. He's made one move. He's going to make a second down the inside. But there you go, Hazer breaking nicely and taking the place. Batman just goes a little bit wide as well. King OG not able to get through on him. They're both losing a lot of time to those in the top four. But Hazer now has got himself up into 4th place. Has he got enough time to catch up to Kingy the King, who is 2 seconds ahead of Doug? But Doug at this stage doesn't really want those 4 drivers behind him to be in a DRS train with him, but that's probably what's going to be happening very, very soon. So we'll see here in Hazer all over the rear of Salty Stevens. Can he get a move done? I mean, he may just try and hold back, to be fair. I think he will. I think there's no real pressure from behind, so he should be okay to not really have to go for the overtake. I'll say that he is going for the overtake, which is interesting because would they have got DRS on Doug down through Air Rouge? Maybe they would have done, because Doug's exits out of the chicane, not great. Hazer now within 0.6 of a second, so actually now you look at it, it was a wise move from last season's Tier 1 runner-up. Hazer, who of course went on to win the 100% tier title as well. So champion in one tier, runner-up in the other, and also runner-up in the combined constructors. A little bit slippery there, Salty Stevens. Hazer now should have the run he needs to take Doug, which he will take him, but here comes Salty Stevens as well. Salty Stevens, look at the speed! Lightning McQueen, but he's off track! He's off track and they're side by side again here, Hazer. He makes the move. Salty loses out to Doug. A bit of contact and into the wall goes Salty Stevens. Not sure entirely if that was on Doug, to be fair. I mean, the contact just seemed a bit strange. It did look like Salty Stevens was just dropping in behind, because don't forget he did go off track. I don't know, I thought he was just dropping back, to be fair. But yeah, sadly, into the wall. It is only reduced damage, so you shouldn't really be getting, you know, ridiculous amounts of damage unless you really smash the wall hard. But anyways, Kingy the King then is leading the way. Oh, Doug, a bit of slippery there, so he will not be able to do anything. Can Hazer win this race? He's 2.2 seconds behind Kingy the King. It's not looking good for Hazer to win this. Surely Kingy the King has it in the bag. And now further back you've got Kingy OG. And as you can see, all over I Am Batman, who has got Doug just ahead as well. And they will both be getting the DRS off the McLaren. And Doug has dropped back quite a lot, I've got to say, since the early stages of this race. Made a few mistakes, but he does have a lot of battery. Can he hold on to the podium? Hazer then is 1.3 seconds behind Kingy the King. Doesn't really have any battery to play with either, unless he can save it in the final lap, which he may be able to do in all fairness. As PRV Widgets are struggling in Sector 2, going into Sector 3 now. I Am Batman and has just taken Doug, but he's not, he's lost the place. And on the inside, just about avoiding anything major. There was a little tap between the pairing of Batman and Kingy. So Hazer's taking Kingy the King. Hazer's leading. I think Kingy the King just made a mistake then. So Hazer now in that Williams, flying clear. As we thought he wasn't going to be able to go on to win. He is leading by 3 seconds. And it will be the Williams taking home the win. Kingy OG receiving a 2-second time penalty. So he'll be off the podium for sure. He won't even get P4. Because I Am Batman has no penalties as well. So we're only going to get the 8 drivers finishing out of 14 in this one. But Hazer will come away with another victory. Oh, a spin there from, who was that? The Red Bull. Jar Jar Bing. But Hazer will be the one then getting another victory. 3 races in 4 for Hazer. So he's been in fine form tonight. Similar to what Pesci was last week. Kingy the King does end up second. Doug gets onto the podium, whilst Batman beats Kingy OG to a 4th place finish. Smail Labe will end up in P6 for the Mercedes. I think he was one of those. He has no wing. I'm pretty sure he was one of those earlier on to have got involved in whatever happened at Eau Rouge. Without a wing, Smail Labe does come through in P6. So we've just got the two drivers now, Smail Labe and PRV Widget. Here comes, sorry, Smail Labe, Jar Jar Bing rather. Jar Jar Bing will take home a P7. And there you go, across the line he goes. And last of all will be PRV Widget. Just need to take his time and get a P8 on the board. 4 points for the Ferrari. A decent job overall. And there you go, yes, crossed the line. But Hazer again, 3 wins in 4 races for him. Absolutely dominating tonight. So I think it's round 5 next. I'm trying to remember which track it is. Let's see if I'll have a look actually. Round 5 is, if I could scroll up. Not sure how much I need to scroll for my own comment, which I should have remembered really. Round 5, oh yeah, it's Mexico. I think everybody seemed to want Mexico. I don't know why. But there you go. Must be a favourite for people. But Mexico is the next track. And then round 6 will finish off at Brazil in a 25%er. Right then, so Hazer again. I think Hazer's probably going to win this one. So it was Pesci last week. Hazer will probably take it this week. We've still got a couple of races to do. Yeah, so round 5 is going to be at Mexico, right? Do we do any changes is the question. So we got 1 shot quaddy 5 laps. I think that's fine. I'm presuming nobody wants any wet conditions. I mean, why would they? They've been struggling enough in the dry anyway, so why would you want to add some rain into it? That'd be crazy. But again, it will be 1 shot quaddy, I believe, this one for Mexico. But Hayes, I mean, Hayes is 55 points ahead of Kingy the King. That is crazy. Showing that he's got that consistency and speed back again. He did seem to have lost it, but yeah, he's got something back, it seems. But there you go. It will be a 1 shot quaddy followed by the 5 laps. So let's see how things go. I do believe, is everybody ready to go for this one, I think? I've seen what you said in the Discord. Racer B, you might as well just race it, to be fair. More racing you get under your belt, the better, hopefully. Especially with, you haven't really been finishing a lot tonight. You've only got 15 points as well. So yeah, I think it'll be better off just trying to race. End of the day, people may continue doing lobbies after. But we'll finish, then obviously we've got this one, and then we've got Brazil as well. But hopefully, the racing could be better in the last 2 races. That's what we kind of need. We don't like having a bad display of racing, really. But yeah, pretty sure Hazer will come away and win this one. But who will get second? Because it's a lot closer. You've got Kingy the King, you've got Salty Stevens, Batman doing really well in the Red Bull, Doug, Kingy OG, Jar Jar Bing, Poem, Racer Beer may also have a chance to catch back up. I think second is what people are going for now. I'm not sure who was second before. It may have been Pesci actually, who was officially second, but I'm not sure how many points he has. So we'll only go on this order, and I do believe it is Kingy the King now who will go off being second place. Yeah, 2 races to go. Then this will be the final 5-lap race, and then it will be Brazil 25%. But we'll keep. Should we keep safety cars on for that one? Maybe standard safety car, standard red flag. You never know, something might happen there. But let's see then how the one-shot quaddy will go here at round 5, Mexico. As you can see, again, I still don't understand why the game gives us that 30-second countdown now, but in the one-shot quaddy, this is only for one-shot quaddy does it give us a 30-second countdown, but it doesn't do it heading into a race, which it used to do on F1 22. Never would have thought that I'd prefer something on 22 compared to 23, but that's the one thing. Anyways, and exiting out and Mexico and leading on to the main straight then. C lane again is the car that we are with, but we'll see if we can get towards Mr. Poem. Maybe see if we can go towards Hazer. Again, he is must be running more downforce than anybody else because he is often down a field heading into turn 1. Can he get any places back is the question. He's got 1 so far. Let's have a look at his telemetry as well and go directly on board with the Williams. Now he is up to P2 just behind Mr. Poem. We'll see how the Sector 2 split will go in a few moments, but we're going to have to get through the S's first. A little bit of a twitch, however, which leaves Hader dropping to P4, but he does get a couple of places back on Salty Stevens and Doug Racer up to P4 as well, now ahead of Doug. But it is a battle, and now Steel Lane, Smell Ape, Salty Stevens all down there. I do fear they have all been disqualified. And wide goes Hazer, but he does stay. Apparently, he does not get a disqualification there. Very fortunate. I do think Mr. Poem, though, is about to take... Oh, is he? Hazer's got it back. And Hazer, on the line, takes pole by less than 1/10 of a second. Mr. Poem in P2, but it is Hazer who does the job he needs. There you go. Less than 1/10 between them. Racer B are 2.5 tenths further back in P3. Doug in a league of his own, really, in P4. Made it a new tier just for him. King and the King, P5. And Batman in P6. King OG, P7. Then you got Jar Jar Bing and PRB Widget further back. C Lane, Smell Abe, and Salty Stevens all disqualified. I do believe they were all disqualified heading into the S's as well. So there you go, something that they'll try and get figured out for the 5-lapper, but Hazer ahead of Poem and Racer Beer and Doug on the second row. Kingy the King up there again, as he has been through a lot of these lobbies. Very often up there in the top 5, so he'll be happy with his performance, I'm sure. Even if it's not the quickest, he has probably been the most consistent in terms of his overall results. Obviously, Hayes is up there as well. You can't suggest that Hayes shouldn't be up there. Leave me, yeah. Yeah. May need to get a drink as well, to be fair. Unless that was forgotten, to be fair. Right, let's see. I'll have a look at those clips that were sent to me later. So we got two of them at well, one at Australia, one at Emina, one at Belgium. Okay, that's fine. Right, let's have a look. See how this one goes then. Round 5 at Mexico. Hazer ahead of Poem. And then Racer Bia in P3. Has she got the perfect chance to be leading into turn 1? We've got the slipstream, we've got the DRS. Mr. Poem trying to cover it off, but Hazer covers off Mr. Poem. But here comes Poem's car, but not quite quick enough. And that means Racer Bia. Oh, a Red Bull! What was that? Was that I Am Batman? Went so deep into turn 1. Luckily, doesn't really cause any mess, it seems. Hazer leads, but Poem and Racer B are looking to go side by side. I think they're still going at it then on the exit of turn 3. And yeah, it was Batman in the background. Really struggled into turn 1. Broke super late, went onto the grass as well. Still side by side are Racer B and Mr. Poem as well. Oh. What's happened to Hazer? Hazer's down in the order now, so Hazer's lost the lead. Hazer's MP6 out of nowhere. He's made a mistake. Let's see if we can get something back, but he's now behind Salty Stevens. Salty Stevens, one of those who got disqualified. I say that, Salty Stevens goes a bit wide, which will give Hazer a chance on the outside line to get the place done. They're still running side by side here, Hazer and Salty Stevens. A lot of smoke in the background, but it is Hazer up into the top 5. The top 2 running away with things, but now Kingy the King ahead of Doug. Hazer still side by side with Salty Stevens. Probably one of those where Salty Stevens is just happy to be battling with Hazer. As you can see, Hazer on the outside line, battling for 5th place. He does get it in the end. Could have maybe left a little bit more room. In the end, he does hold it, but again, could have been a little bit more space for Salty Stevens there. I don't think Salty Stevens is close enough to go for any move, so stay in behind Doug. Kingy the King in there now. This is for P3 and P4, very close there. Doug to the rear of the Cash App RB car. Have to really get used to that one. Cash App RB, I mean, well, or should we call it the Visa Cash App RB? That's technically what it's called. I mean, I prefer the RB, it just sounds a lot easier to say, really. Anyways, Mr. Poem leading race a bit by 2/10. Ooh. Doug, 2-second penalty. Now he's alongside Salty Stevens. So they are going side by side, and Doug killing the Bullard there. And that will allow for the 3 cars to go through. Doug's starting to struggle, and he has Smell Labe, who will make a move as well, surely. Never mind that one. He will not make the move. He has no battery to fight with. But Doug making a couple of errors, dropping him to 6th place. And what about this? C-Lade's made not just 1, but 2 overtakes there. And Smell Labe has spun on thin air. But Steelane up into P6 now, so a lovely double overtake from him. If he didn't make a double overtake, he probably would have ended up behind Smell Labe. Due to Smell Labe having that spin, and another spin. That was Kingy the King, the first time we've seen him make a mistake really tonight. So that will leave him down in the back end of the top 10. So Kingy the King now will just fight for points. But I don't think he'll be second in the standings after this race. Mr. Poem is leading, but he does have the penalty. Racer Beer in second position is on course to compete for the win, which will leave her in a position to fight for second place in a championship for the final race. Again, I don't think there will be any chance of anybody overcoming Hazer. I think his, I'm trying to remember, was it a 45 or 55 point lead, whatever it was? Nobody is catching that up. That's what we can see Racer Beer closing. Will she go inside or outside? She will look at down the inside, but she holds back. Doesn't go for the overtake. Mr. Perman will take defensive lines, but Racer Beer trying to get the traction out. It's turn 3, but I don't think I don't imagine she's close enough to look at the overtake. She had to look down the inside, but again, she just lifts off and settles for second place, knowing second should be the victory for the final lap, if that's where she is. She wants to start, she wants to be second going on to the main straight for the final lap, and then she'll get the double dose of DRS, providing she does not make a mistake before then. Should get the win here, Racer Beer, should get the victory. Further back as well, Smale Labe on Steel Lane for P6. Around the outside goes Smale Labe, and he does take the place ahead of Steel Lane and up into 6th place then. Racer Beer just going a little bit deep at the final corner. This gives Hazer a chance of a win here. So Hazer and Racer Beer, they will be catching up to Mr. Perm pretty quickly. Racer Beer has more battery, I can see that. She's not actually made a move yet on Mr. Poem. So she stays behind. There will be 2 more chances at DRS here. But what a line there from Hazer, but sadly runs into the back of Racer Beer. No major contacts, but does Hazer have the light? Well, the run he needs? Not really. Racer Beer stays ahead. Hazer had a look down the inside, but remains in P3. Bit of pressure here on Racer Beer to hold the win. Hazer still looking at different lines. Not going to go down the inside through the S's, however. This should still be the win in the bag for Racer Beer. But here comes Hazer, who does get the exit he needs out of the final few corners. Out of the S's, but again, Racer Beer hold it together. C-Lane, 2-second time penalty. Mr. Poem leading, but he will drop back into P3. Who will get the win? A little bit of a slip and a slide from Hazer, but he's still all over the rear of Racer Beer. They are going to go to the line, but it will be Racer Beer taking the victory. As the AI car for some reason runs into the back of Mr. Poem. Hazer does end up P2. Mr. Poem P3. Salty Stevens in P4. Smale Labe in the end. I think that may have been his best result so far. P5. PRV Widget P6. Doug P7. Kingy OG takes P8 ahead of Kingy the King in P9. The 2 teammates smashing into each other as well. And Steel Lane taking the final point in P10. I Am Batman and Jar Jar Bing not taking points in the 2 Red Bulls. But Racer Beer gets her first win of the night ahead of Hazer. And that sets us up nicely for the final race. Round 6 will be a 25% race at Belgium. Oh, it won't be at Belgium. Why am I thinking Belgium? It will actually be a 25% race at Brazil. Don't know why I keep thinking Belgium. Yeah. Not sure what result that was towards King OG, but yeah. Okay, why have we got a black screen? Oh, there you go, that's fine. Bit worried for a moment there that the game would be disconnected, but it's okay. So we've got 1 more race to go then, 25%. And it will be at Brazil, not Belgium. Absolutely not doing Belgium again tonight. And then I can go to bed. Pretty much. Yeah, let's see how this one goes. Oh, you're smashing into the T-bet at the end. Yeah, that was funny. I love how the AI reacts at the end of the races. They just smash into the car ahead no matter what. Tell Hayes I must send it full speed into him at go-karting. Well, there you go. I'm sure Hazer may be watching the stream, so you probably end up knowing that, to be fair. Right, 25% of Brazil. Let's go. Don't know, what do you guys want for quali? I mean, I could just do a custom grid and have all the tier 1s at the back or whatever. Imagine a short quali, that'd be fun. What time is it? It's only 25 past 9. It's not like it's particularly late. A short quali and a short... I mean, I don't know how many people would be against a short qualifying session, in all truth. Also, wait, the sprint. Isn't Brazil the sprint? Let's have a look. See how this... I'm not going to do a sprint, don't worry, people. I just want to see what it shows. So 6 laps, 18 laps. Okay. 35%. Hmm. So short qualify. I think if we were to do a sprint, the sprint way, I'm pretty sure. So what would the first sprint? The sprint qualifying would be. Is it 12 minutes? I want to say. That would mean that normal short qualifying would be 18 minutes. That's 30 minutes of qualifying plus the overtime as well. So you're looking at about 32 minutes of qualifying. 6 lap race, barely anything actually. But that's, oh wait, hang on. I'm just seeing what it would look like in a 50%. There you go, 12 lap race. That makes it a bit different, doesn't it? 48 laps in total, plus the half an hour of qualifying sessions. Okay, that's an interesting one. But then if we did, say, the one shot, that would just see, yeah, there you go. Should we do a one shot and the 2 sprints, maybe? What if we did this? Do you want to do that?
Yes, confirmed.
One shot quaddy, one shot for the race, 6 laps for the sprint, and then 18 laps for the main race. Should we give this a go? And this is a 25% race as well. A little mini edition of a sprint, but again, I don't think realistically we probably won't be doing a sprint next season, unless a lot of people want to, but it will be quite time consuming, don't forget. I don't know, I fancy trying to give this a go. Should we give it a go? One shot for both quali sessions, 6 lap for the sprint race, and then 18 laps for the main race. How many drivers have we got? We've only got 13 drivers, okay. I think we should give this a go. If people could do it. If people could do it, I reckon we should give it a go. But we need to know if people can do it or not. I mean, I'm guessing by the fact that people are still in the lobby that we can do this, so I want to see. There you go. Let's go. Yeah, the flute is good. I can't hear it personally, but I know it's a good one. I don't know, let's see how the sprints go, because again, it's the first time I think that a lot of us would have done a multiplayer sprint, if not all of us, you know, so let's see. So it's one shot quali for both qualifying sessions. And don't forget, you've got the sprint, so we've got the sprint qualifying first, and this will set up the grid for the sprint. I'm pretty sure we're doing 2 quickfire sprints as well, 2 quickfire qualifying sessions first. So best be ready. I'm pretty sure Park Ferme is off as well. So if you're a bit worried on the Park Ferme, don't be too worried, because you can get your setup sorted after any of the qualifying sessions anyway, if you want to make any adjustments at all. Some people may do, to be fair. And I'm pretty sure you get to choose your tyre allocations as well, which I don't actually know what they're like for the multiplayer. I can't remember. I did it once in career mode, but I don't remember what it was. Hopefully it's not too bad. But yeah. It'll be an interesting one. I mean, sprints in the actual league races, you've just got to factor in that if we did short qualifying in both of them, both quali sessions, it would be half an hour plus the overtime. So you're probably looking at about 35 minutes in total, taking into account the pause during sessions and stuff. So you are looking at about 35 minutes of qualifying. Then you've got the sprint, which would be 12 laps. And then you've got the full race. So I'm thinking in my mind, it won't be too far away from, say it's wet. I thought I'd done, I'm pretty sure I've done clear for the weather. Pretty certain. Either way, if it's not, best of luck. Um, let's see how it goes at turn one. And then we'll continue the little discussion on the sprint in a second. Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like it's actually quite a bit like the full qualifying. Factor in that full quali would take what? You're looking at 45 minutes plus, maybe 50. So you're looking at 45 to 50 minutes for full qualifying. As a couple of cars, King of the King and Hazer both retiring. I think Hazer probably did it on purpose, to be fair, to have a little bit of fun at the back in a sprint. Don't forget the sprint is only going to be 6 laps. It's the poem of a big mistake like that gives Salty Stevens a chance to try and make a breakthrough. But again, it's not quite there. Some reason, some people are on the inters. Not entirely sure what. Has the game allowed them to start on inters? Is that what the game just said for you guys to start on? Because I'm pretty sure I did not go dynamic for the weather. I'm pretty sure it's still on clear. Well, Salt Stevens has gone quickest. I don't know why the game has started you guys on inters, which makes me a bit worried as to why you would want to do the sprint format, because if that's how it's going to be, the sprint format is not the one to do. It might be that sprint formats are bugged on the game. Because there's no way that these drivers should be starting on intermediate. I mean, yeah, game put you on inters. I mean, I don't get that. I would understand it a bit more if it said everybody has to be on inters, even though it's clearly a dry track. There you go. So one thing not to do on this game, not to do a sprint, because it don't work. Got it. So, I don't really understand that. That makes no sense at all. How does it end up doing that? I mean, you can clearly see it's literally sunny on track, and you're like, oh yeah, this is clearly too wet. You have to be on inters, guys. Right. I'm hoping this session's a little bit better. Wait, this is the sprint. Ah, so how will they do it then? Is one shot quali followed by a sprint, and then it goes back to the one shot quali, and that'll be for the race. Okay, got it, game. See, I thought it was the other way round then. I thought it was both quali sessions before the 2 sprints and the race, but I can't remember now. See what Tuck said in the lobbies. Acting like I done it. To be fair, if I had done it, I would have said that only you start on the inters, everybody else goes on to dries. So you can tell it was clearly not me who done it. Otherwise, I would have had you on the inters and everyone else on dry. Sprint quali works well. Yeah, it works brilliantly. The sprint quali, yeah, it works. It's absolutely phenomenal right now. 10 out of 10. Just take off the 0 or take off the 1, whichever way around. It still works. Let's see then. Hopefully they're all on the same tyre compound. Let's have a look. They are. Well, I mean, soft or medium. Why some are on mediums, I don't really understand. But either way, it's lights out and it's go, go, go! Salty Stevens leading away. Softy medium in a 6-lap sprint. 6-lap sprint, and you're choosing medium tyres, guys. I don't get it. Oh, a spin in the background. That'll be King of the King again. Another mistake from him. That's 2 in 2 Grand Prix now. It's not really the official Grand Prix, so you get 8 points for the sprint win. Don't forget, it's Mr. Perm and Salty Stevens side by side. Mr. Perm does take the lead on lap 1, and yellow flags for Smail Labe. We're quite accustomed to seeing that one, especially in F1 23. Salty Stevens then on the rear. Steve Lane doing well up into P3. Jar Jar Bing in 4th place as well. Good start there from the Red Bull driver. All on the soft tyres, these top 4. Smell Labe has left the session. King OG in P5. Racer Beer currently in P6 as well. Can't remember if we put a safety car on. It may not be on actually. Just going to quickly go up towards Salty Stevens. Currently trying to take Mr. Pump. Goes quite wide. Doesn't quite hit the wall, but Salty Stevens does take the lead. Does he? Side by side. Oh, there's a spin. Salty Stevens has spun it. He's gone far too deep at turn 1. Oh yeah, that's a tricky corner. Got to be careful at turn 1. Even I'm not quite there yet. But Salty Stevens, sadly, is down the order, down into P8 ahead of Widget, Doug and Kesonator as a result. Jar Jar Bing on lap 1 has done very well, remarkably so, and is up into P3. Don't forget Jar Jar Bing was in Tier 3 last season, as he just brake incredibly late there. Almost touches C-Lane, but fortunately doesn't make any contact. And you got Racer Beer, a trialist, currently on the rear of King OG, who was a recent successful trialist. So King OG will be racing here next season, and look at Racer Beer having a look down the inside. Surely will hold off, and she does. Compare that to what she would have done a couple of weeks ago. She would have went for the move. Hayden then is on the rear as well in P6. You got PRV Widget ahead of Kesonator, and Widget up into the top 10. Let's go back then. Racer Beer ahead of King OG. Oh, whoa! How was the... Hang on. How has the game not made the Red Bull ghost? Surely the Red Bull should have ghosted there, right? I don't understand that. The game should have made the Red Bull ghost. That should never have been contact there, because the Red Bull should have ghosted. They were literally right on the racing line, and the game still decided not to ghost them. I mean, fair enough, if we had turned ghosting off, I'd get it, but with ghosting on, that Red Bull should have been ghosted all day long. It took far too long, ironically so, after watching the Canadian Grand Prix and that safety car, how long they took for that. Salty Stevens and a little bit of a twitch there. That will give both the Red Bulls a chance that they want. We're on board here with Batman. Down the outside on Jar Jar Bing is going to try and take Salty Stevens as well. And he does go down the outside. And he takes hold of 5th place. Salty Stevens though will get a better line. And the traction he needs out of turns 2. And there you go. Throughout turns 1, 2 and 3 he will take hold of 5th place again. Take it away from I Am Batman. Let's have a look at Lee's up the front there, Mr. Poem. Ahead of C-Lane. C-Lane getting along well here at Brazil. So he's found a track that he is getting used to. And this is that track, a Tier 1 driver last season, don't forget. C-Lane. So he's got one track that he does seem to be good at on this game, which is good to see. I still remember racing with Steve Lane a few seasons ago. This was in Season 3 on the old F1 22. He wasn't actually particularly quick on that one, but he did seem to pick up the pace later in the season. I think he got 1 podium in the end. That was in Tier 2, and then Season 4 he was in Tier 1. He seems to be a pretty solid driver. He's done well for himself, to be fair. Since making that move into Tier 1, he has got some decent results. Oh, as he's almost run into the pit wall. Very lucky not to have done. Not too far away, but the top 2 now, Mr. Perman Racer Babe, you would expect will pull clear as we're on the penultimate lap of this sprint. It goes very quickly here at Interlagos, and Mr. Perman Racer Beer will go for the win. Which one of them will come home in P1? That is the key question for us now. But it is looking good for Racer Beer. She's in a good place in P2. But surely she'll come through on it's turn 1, you'd imagine she will be leading. But can she hold it into turn 4? And then you've got the final rundown, of course, where there is an overtaking chance. So plenty of chances to come away with the win. Who will take it? Will it be Poem? Will it be Racer Beer? On the run through to turn 1, Racer Beer stays behind Mr. Poem. Plenty of battery as well. Actually, both of them have got loads of battery. We're going to turn the battery off. Well, I don't know why I turned the telemetry on for. I think I did for quali and it just held it there. But Racer Beer now is going to try and attack, but it's staying behind. So they're both leaving all of their battery for the final curve here into Lagos. Who will take the win? Further back though, Salty Stevens still, I think he does have a damage ahead of Batman, ahead of Doug, ahead of King EOG, who is ahead of Jar Jar Bing. Jar Jar goes very wide. King EOG then up into 8th place. Let's go. I know there's still battles going on, but we're going to keep with this for now between Mr. Poem and Racer Beer. And this is for the win. For the sprint win, of course. 8 points up for grabs for this one. Who will take it? We're taking the final corners here. It's a sprint to the line. Surely Mr. Poem has got this in the bag. Racer Beer will use all of her battery. But she's not going to get close. She's not going to get close, is she? Is she? No, not quite. 1/10 away. Mr. Poem does win. Hazer gets a fast lap as well in P3. And the final point as well, King EOG edging out PRV Widget and King EOG in P8. But there you go, Mr. Poem just ahead of Racer Beer for the sprint win. So next up, it will be the main Grand Prix qualifying, and again, it will be a one-shot quali. I wish it was all customizable, if I'm being honest. I wish you could customize each session. Because imagine you could make the sprint quali one-shot, and you can make the sprint, I don't know, if you wanted to, you could make the sprint a 5-lap race. Then you can make the normal quali short quali. And then you could do the normal 50% race. Imagine you could do that. That'd be pretty fun. Wouldn't mind that, to be fair. Then again, they'll probably somehow ruin all of that in a way. But there you go. Didn't really get to the results screen, but it doesn't matter too much. So next up then, it will be the actual qualifying for the race. So again, it will be a one-shot. Still plenty of chances if drivers do want to change their setups at all. Feel free, Park Ferme should be off. So it is 9:43 PM. Let's see then. I think with this quali and the race, we'll get done just after 10 o'clock, it seems. So you're probably looking at about 10:05, maybe pushing to 10:10 to finish it. But it should all be done. I'll say about 20 or 25 minutes, really. I mean, a lap time at Brazil typically is about 1 minute. You're averaging about 1 minute 11, 1 minute 12 maybe. So yeah, I think you should get done in that 25 minutes really. So we should be done before 10:10. If I can have an exact time, I'll say 6 minutes past 10 is where I reckon we'll finish. Let's see how that goes. 6 minutes past 10, that's what we're aiming for the finish. Again, the game has been putting us on Steel Lane every single time so far. I'm not sure why. It must be some sort of bias from the game. PRV Widget will not get a good lap in. Hazer is going for it though. Are they all on the same tyres? Please, game. Yes, they are. Good. Good game. GG's for once. Hazer down on P3 at the moment behind not just Mr. Poem but also Salty Stevens. Racer Beer is also pretty close to Hazer as well. Let's get the telemetry up. Racer Beer in P3. Hazer in second place. Mr. Poem has retired from the one-shot quaddy, so he'll be starting down in P12 according to the game at the moment, but it will be close to the front as Racer Beer invalidates and spins and drops to P12 herself. But it is Salty Stevens. Is he going to get a pole? As Hazer's dropping down, I think Hazer's retired. I think he's done that on purpose. But it's Salty Stevens, who looked like he was going to get a pole anyway. But he does get pole. He's got P1 in the Aston Martin. Again, he was tier 2 last season. He's definitely got good pace on this game. He's on pole by a second ahead of Steelane and Doug. What an effort from Salty Stevens. 107.925 then for that one-shot quaddy pole from Salty Stevens. Can Hazer, Mr. Poem and Racer Beer find their way through this field and catch up to Salty? So now it will be 18 laps of pure action at Interlagos. I say pure action, I'm hoping it's pure action, because that's kind of what we want to see. But 18 laps, how many of them will be exciting, and what will the final lap be? How will it unfold? Let's see then. Got all the marshals already into place, knowing that there will be collisions, surely. It's why they're all there. You know something I've only just realised as well? I've never really thought about this. Why does the game put us on this screen before we go into the race? Surely we should be going at the screen on the grid, right? I know we go onto the grid eventually, but why do we not go onto the grid now? We should be on the grid right now. We shouldn't be looking at the pit wall. What is the pit wall going to do? I've never really thought that before. The things you think about when you do this, when you do the broadcast view all the time. Wow. But that's one thing I've only really just thought about. Why are we not on the grid? Why are we looking at the garage when we don't really see anything? Like, what are we even looking at right now? Oh, I've never actually thought about it this way. That's crazy. Been doing commentary for almost 2 years now, and I've never thought about why we're not even looking at the grid. I mean, it will get us there in a second, but why does it not do it straight away? Interesting. Anyway, we're now on the grid. We should have been on the grid anyway. 4 and 5 red lights. And it's go, go, go at Interlagos. And Salty Stevens does get away really well. And he will hold the lead. Steelane and P2 getting close for back. Kingy the King is side by side with Doug. Are they going to give each other the space they need? They do. And Doug just ahead at the moment. Kingy the King trying to use that battery, as is Doug. I think Doug has the place though. King of the King does back off on the move. Further back then, everybody going in. Kingy OG. Oh, is this going to close? And the McLaren just has to back out. Good awareness there from Kesonator to back out of that move. I think Kingy OG's rejoin wasn't particularly great. I think when he rejoined the track there, you've got to stay to the right side of the track. That would have been a better option there from Kingy OG. But Kesonator did well to just completely back off. Very good smart racing there from the McLaren driver. As Jar Jar Bing ahead. Oh, Mr. Poem has gone for a half spin. So it is a half spin from the Alpine. He just dropped to last place. Smale and I am Batman. Lads, I mean, it's 10 to 10. You've got to relax on what you're doing right now. Man, they're really inside each other, aren't they, Crikey? Right, Batman did not want to be inside him for too much longer and just let him through. Why are they both ghosted? They both leave a lobby. That's weird. They couldn't have both left. Why are they ghosted for? Did they both leave the lobby? I don't even know what's going on right now. Um, Kesonator's still there, but if they did leave a lobby, why did I Am Batman go so deep into turn 1? I don't get it. Either way, let's go up the front then. The game is confusing at this moment in time, obviously, as you can clearly tell. Racer being on the rear of Hazer. About 0.2 of a second is closing, so should try and get the move done. We're on lap 2 and starting lap 3 of 18. Salty Stevens' fast lap. Will anyone take that away from him? No. Is the very quick answer to that question. So Salty Stevens, yeah, he is looking quick, isn't he? He's looking tier 1. I've got to say, Salty Stevens, very impressed with your pace so far. Not just tonight, but what I saw from you, I think, a couple of nights ago. And your time trials, from what I've seen again. Looking very quick here, Salty Stevens. Looking very good. So if you're one of those team principals in particular for next season, Salty Stevens could be one to watch in Tier 1, you know? It could be one of those drivers that you look at and say, you know what, it could be a good pick. Salty Stevens may very quickly find himself to be a potential #1 contender for the picks for next season. Because don't forget, he will be cheaper as well as a Tier 1 driver, so that'll be interesting to see how things go. Doug P2, is that a glitch? Yeah, it's completely glitched, mate. So basically what's going on is Doug is on soft compound tyres, you can see there. Everybody else, ignore what colour they're on. They're all on full wet tyres. That's why Doug is still on P2. So yeah, Doug is on soft. Everyone else is on the full wet tyres. And as you can see, it's so dry out on track that it's clearly still dries. Doug just struggling for the traction on his dry tyres. That'll mean C-Lane will make an easy move around the outside on his full wet tyres. Ignore the red stripe, of course. Nobody cares about that. Go towards Racer B, and again, she is on full wet. It's just a glitch. It's showing she's on soft, but it is full wet. And having a look on Doug at this moment in time. That makes sense. Exactly. See, it all makes sense when you think about it properly. Doesn't go down the inside there. Doug covers it off. Racer Bia a few weeks ago again would have went for that move, but guess what? She's not Racer Bia from a few weeks ago. Let's see how this goes then. She is improving though. She is improving. Definitely. And it would not surprise me if Racer Bia was here for Season 7. Let's see, how does this go? Ooh, it's close, it's close. Let's go with the broadcast view, see how it goes. Pretty good. Pretty good, leaving each other space, plenty of room for everyone. All three cars, good racing between Racer Bia, C-Lane and Doug as well. Obviously Doug having the much superior grip, but not able to make the move. Yeah, I mean, listen, she has made some big mistakes before, don't get me wrong. But I want to say the last 5 days, I believe, she seems to have picked it up pretty well. And it's one of those points where, oh, see, that's a move from Hazer that is not particularly good. Yeah, I don't really think Hazer should have gone for that move there. And I don't even blame Doug for fighting it in this way. Because I don't think Hazer should have gone down the inside there. I think people think too much with their mentality that they should do a move like they're fighting AI. It's completely different. Fighting AI versus fighting an actual person is so different. And that move from Hazer was like you're fighting an AI driver. If you're fighting an AI driver, you can send it on them all day long. That's easy to do. But if you're going to do that online, just play career mode. Just play career mode, that's all you need to do. If that's all you want to focus on, just sending it. Yeah, Hazer shouldn't have gone for that move. That's my opinion at the end of the day, but I don't think Hazer should be sending it on Doug in that way. There's plenty of time to be relaxed and patient about the situation. He shouldn't have sent it there. And that, in my opinion, is something that I've seen from Racer that she has worked on. So whatever she's been doing recently, she has been improving on that, and I think today she has got a bit more of a league racing mentality on, where I've not seen her send it, for example, on anyone. I mean, the racing in the first 2 or 3 races was not acceptable from a few people. Um, but this race has been a lot better. The last race was better as well, but this race certainly is the one. There you go, Hazer down the inside on Steel Lane. See, that's a place where Hazer was at least alongside to go for the move. That's a bit better. But the one on Doug wasn't the one. But yes, when she's racing well, it's so much easier to just back what she's doing, you know. The last few days it's so much easier just to, say she's been driving well. It's not it's not one of those where I'm looking at the situation thinking she hasn't been, because she has been. Um, and if you had told me, what, 3, 4 weeks ago that she'd be driving as well as she has been over the past 5 days, I'd have probably doubted it quite heavily. And that's to the point of how much I believe she has improved. Anyways, into the pits goes Steel Lane. Don't forget, again, it is 25%. These races seem to be going very quickly, I can't lie. As Hazer now has caught up to the rear of Racer Beer as well. Let's get the tyres up as well, shall we? There you go. As you could tell, we're not really like full on in commentary mode. I mean, it's a bit more of a relaxed situation. It was flappers, then a 25%. It's not the big ol' end all situation, but it's, a decent amount of racing. Got all together, it would be about 2 hours of racing altogether, which is decent. This is the last race. This is the last race tonight. So we done 5 lappers for the first 5 races, and then this one's the 25%. It was a sprint as well. Mr. Poem beat Racer Beer to win that one. But Hazer has won most of the races tonight. I think he's won 3 of the first 5, I do believe. So 3 out of 5, it may have even been 4. I think it's 3 because I'm pretty sure Racer Beer won the last one. So Hayes has been largely the dominant force tonight, similar to what Pesci was last week, where I think Pesci went on to win about 4 out of 6 races. So Hayes is pretty similar in that respect. So Mr. Perm overtaking the ghosted car of Smail Abe. I think Smail Abe is not actually in the race, I'm pretty sure at this point now. That's probably why him and I and Batman were side by side and literally inside each other earlier on. But yeah, let's see who else is potentially in a position to overtake. Well, Doug is going to get through on Batman pretty quickly. Got to take into account these guys are just overtaking ghosted cars, so it's not really something that we need to watch. Just have a look further up then. Salty Stevens into the pits, getting rid of his softs. Don't forget Hayes started on mediums. Jar Jar Bing went for hards. Interesting strategy call. Not sure why exactly he went for hard tyres, but there you go. So Salty Stevens now onto the medium tyres, and that will comfortably get him to the end. Is he behind Jar Jar Bing? Yes, he is. So Jar Jar will now be P2. But Hazer is P1 on those mediums, but again, he does need to pit again. Or I say again, he still needs to pit. But for the victory, it's looking good. I would say, I think Mr. P is in a fairly good place, but I think Racer B may just be... so I was going to say Racer B was the favourite, but it's got to be Salty Stevens, actually. Coming to think of it, Salty Stevens P3 on those freshest tyres. Salty Stevens has got to be the favourite here. Smail Abe's AI as well, also in the pits, going for fresh mediums as well. So no real battles right now, because due to the tyre differentials, Hazer opting to stay out on his mediums. So he's still 16 seconds, well 16 and a half seconds clear, but Jar Jar Bing is not the one who's really going to close it. It's Salty Stevens really who's going to be the one trying to close that. As we can see, get the gap to the leader, 17.3 seconds away. That should be able to make this move on Jar Jar Bing. Be crucial for Salty Stevens to make the move now. He is using the remainder of his battery and he's going to go round the outside on Jar Jar Bing and just about secures the place. So he's up into second place and now he is 17 seconds behind Hazer in P1. And that gap will just close up as well. So we'll keep the gap to the interval now. And Salty Stevens will continue to close this gap. But what about Kingy the King? He's on the rear of PRV Widget. He was probably having a look at a couple of moves earlier on, certainly into turn 4, but didn't quite have enough to get there. As Widget locks up and King of the King goes for a little slide, nothing major at all. And the cash up RB will have a look down the inside, but again, the opposite of what Hazer did on Doug, he just actually stay behind the car ahead. Right, race to beer now ahead of Jar Jar Bing. Jar Jar Bing into the pits. An interesting way to enter the pits. I don't normally warm your tyres up going into the pits, I can't lie. You normally do that when you're getting out of the pits and stuff like that. It's an interesting way of doing things. Either way, it's soft tyres for Jar Jar Bing. Never seen that before. Trying to warm your tyres up as you go into the pits. Is that a quicker way to do it? Have we been doing it wrong this whole time? I think we should try that now. Try and warm your tyres up going into the pits and hope your pit crew can get your tyres off even quicker. Jar Jar Bing has just told us to do something different. There you go. Imagine that's actually the quickest way to do it. That's how you get your sub 2 second pit stops. By warming your tyres up going into the pits. That's crazy. It wouldn't shock me though. It wouldn't shock me if that's something that the game actually decided to do. A new feature, you get a sub 2 second pit stop when you warm your tyres up going into the pits. That'll be amazing. I mean, not in a good way, it'll be funny, but you'll be thinking why. Right, Hazer now is pitting, so we go on with him then. Oh, that's an interesting way to approach the pit exit. That's not the way to warm up your tyres on pit exit as well. So he is going to be right behind C-Lane, but look how much fresher those tyres are. I mean, he's got so much more grip, but the thing is right now, he's going to struggle to be able to use it. He has left it very late though, Hazer. Has he left it too late to win this race? We've got Mr. Poem in P5. I don't think Mr. Poem is going to be any threat towards Hazer. Or... see? He is pushing it. He is pushing it to the absolute limit. It's one of those where he's lucky that the space was left. So C-Lane could have easily just closed that gap. And if he had closed that gap, he would have blamed Hazer. Wow. The fact that C-Lane is going straight for the overtake now, that has made Hazer's move look quite stupid, really, I've got to say. Sorry, I know, I'm just being completely blunt with what I'm saying, I know. I think Hazer's overtake on C-Lane looked pretty stupid at the time. If he doesn't get this place back, which he's not going to, now that makes me think that move from Hazer on C-Lane was absolutely stupid. Should not have done that. Because now, as you could tell, it's even cost Hazer time, which is not what he should have been doing. Just stay behind it. Just stay behind. Don't go for a silly move. There you go. Now, you'll get the DRS going onto the main straight, and that's when you go for the overtake. Okay, I'll go for it now. There you go, but he's alongside here. He's alongside there. You can go for the overtake. That's fine. The only issue is C-Lane will get DRS again. So let's see how wise that was from Hayes to go for the overtake. So the DRS and the battery as well. Must have low wings here, C Lane, because look how much he's closing. Oh, C Lane goes into Hazer. I don't think that's on Hazer, to be fair. I'm going to be honest, I think that was more on C Lane, to be completely honest. Obviously, I know C Lane wouldn't have meant it in that way. But yeah, I think that would have been more on C Lane. There was space there for Steve. There was space there. And Poem now will have front wing damage, I'm pretty sure. And also Ray Sabia has made a mistake. I didn't quite realise that at the time, but now Hazer up into P2. I should give Hazer the win. He's 3.6 away, and Salty Stevens has a penalty as well. There you go, 3 seconds in total. Salty Stevens has Steve Lane, sorry, has 13 seconds of penalties. I'm not sure how he managed that. 13 seconds of penalties in an 18 lap race. You've only managed lap 15. It's not like it's an impossible track to stay on, surely. Brazil, I mean, you can get 3 seconds or 6 seconds, but 13 seconds of penalties at Brazil, wow. Not sure how he's managed that. Quite an achievement, really, from the kick Sauber. Has he been kicking anyone out of his way to get the 13 seconds of penalties? I can't be too certain. Probably not. It's Steve Lane, he normally doesn't, so... Oh, he chooses to retire. I mean, to be fair, he doesn't normally have like collisions in a way. Like over the course since he started in season 3, he hasn't really got many penalty points at all. And for the most part, he is a clean driver. So there you go. Oh yeah, 10. See. I thought that I don't understand why the game is given 10 second speeding penalties now. I suppose in a way though, when you're doing league races, you're going to really think in your mind, slow the car down going into the pits, aren't you? But you want to know what my biggest issue with a 10 seconds is? My biggest problem now is the game. I don't like that. Because what if somebody behind you goes in too quickly and they go right into you, and then you get 10 seconds. That's what I don't like about that. And that's where I felt 5 seconds was the limit, really. If they kept it at 5 seconds, I'd have been fine, but I think 10 seconds is just a bit too much. As you can see from the penalty, Salty Stevens at the moment is still net P1. And we're about to start the final lap. He's about 4 tenths to Hazer. Is what Hazer needs. Can he find 4 tenths or 3 tenths on the final lap here? Hazer is going to be pretty close. Neither of them have any battery really, so it's all about their pace. Half a second now, so Salty Stevens clearly gaining more time on the straight. And into turn 1 is half a second between Salty Stevens and Hazer for this win. Salty Stevens really showcasing his tier 1 pace. No doubt about it. I mean, wow, he looks very quick. I mean, Hazer's not even catching him. 8 tenths of a second now from Hazer. Can he find these 7 tenths in the final couple of sectors? I mean, sector 2 is where you can gain it if you've got more downforce, which he is starting to gain a little bit of time. A little bit of a twitch, however. 6 tenths behind. I'm going to be honest, I think Salty Stevens surely is going to get this win. 7 tenths, there you go, out of the hairpin, not strong enough, and this will be good enough for Salty Stevens. The final race tonight, it will be won by the Aston Martin in Lance Stroll's car. Salty Stevens wins at Interlagos at Brazil. I mean, wow. If he's not showing that he's tier 1 ready, he will never be tier 1 ready. He is looking mighty on this game. From what I've seen from him, Salty Stevens is one to watch. Again, if you're a team principal, Salty Stevens, you surely have to be thinking about him for next season. He's looking very impressive. Hazer P2, Racer B a P3. Mr. Poem does take P4. Interesting that his car is very slow off the line. Doug P5, Kingy the King in P6, PRV Widget P7, Jar Jar Bing taking P8, Kingy OG taking a couple of points for P9. Last points paying position will be pretty close here. Apparently, it goes straight to Kesonator. Or does it? I'm not sure. Yeah, it does. For some reason. Okay, but Kesonator takes P10. But, there you go. Yeah, it was super harsh. And need to get some practice on this. Done 2 career races this so far. Yeah, definitely get some practicing on it. A lot of it's to do with setups anyway now. Anyways, there you go, the final results, and Salty Stevens winning, Hazer P2, Racer B with another podium as well. Racer B also taking the fastest lap. And in the final standings, Hazer has won it. Salty Stevens with that victory has taken second place. Racer B does get third with Mr. Poem in P4. Then you got Kingy the King P5, solid job. Doug P6, I am Batman P7, ahead of Kingy OG P8. Jar Jar Bing P9, Smell Lave in the top 10 ahead of PRV Widget, Kesonator, and P13 Steve Lane losing out behind Kesonator by virtue of their best result. Hazer taking tonight's championship. Salty Stevens and Racer Beer are also on that official podium, like they are in the actual result as well. All you've got to do is just switch around Hazer and Salty Stevens from that result you're seeing there, and that is the top 4 in the standings done. And then you've just got to switch around Kingy the King and Doug as well. That'll be 5th and 6th done. So for the most part, just got to switch a couple of drivers, and that's mostly your championship standings. Either way then, that has been tonight's 5 lappers, followed by the 25% sprint. And as you can see, Hazer taking the championship, 138 points. Salty Stevens 72 points for second position. Racer Beer holding off Mr. Poem, Kingy the King, and Doug as well. Doug in the top 6. But yeah, some decent racing at times from people. First few races, I've got to say, less than impressive, but it did pick it up in the last couple, it seems. Mexico and Brazil, shocking setups, completely ruined it for me. Car drifting in most corners. Well, at least you know what tracks you're going to work on your setups then. Not a bad guess on time, 22:11. Oh yeah, went for 6 minutes past, didn't I? People were just too slow, that's why. We could have gone 5 minutes quicker. I'm joking. I didn't really know exactly what time we finished. I just went 6 minutes past. I thought it would have been done before 10 minutes past, to be fair. Almost. Mexico and Brazil. Oh yeah, I've done that one. So, field tier 3 levels for me. Yeah, I mean, if you pass trials, and you probably would end up tier 3, I believe. What would you say my performance overall? I'd say it was okay. I mean, I can't judge too much because I didn't see just your racing. Only from what I saw, seemed okay. But again, I didn't see everything, and I didn't see, especially those first couple of races, I didn't really see exactly who was at fault for all of that. So that was tricky for me to judge on. I know one of the drivers I do have a 4 on. One of the trialists, don't worry, it's not you. And it's not Kesonator, so you know which one it is. And the other 4 was I think Pesci in the first race or 2, but I think he said he was having issues with his hay fever. So that may have been why he was having a bit of a struggle at times. I think Hazer did do 1 or 2 sends, one in particular, and Doug wasn't particularly impressive, I have to say. He should have just backed off on that move. He shouldn't have gone for it. But there you go. Apart from that, most people were okay, especially the last couple of races. Brazil was a lot better from what I saw. Don't get me wrong, a few people were spinning, but you actually saw good side-by-side action. So yeah, I don't know when we'll be doing these 5 lappers next on stream. Again, it might just be a weekly basis, but then again, we're getting close to the point where we'll be doing, or we'll be finalising the time trials. I think maybe what's that? End of next week we'll be finalising time trials. So for people like Racerbia and Kesonator, not if you've not passed a trial by the end of next week, you'll be struggling to get a seat for season 7, really. Um, the only way you'll be getting it is once the season has started, I'd imagine. Because obviously we've got a draft to happen in 2 up to 3 weeks' time. I think it's about 2 weeks' time though. I think it's 2 weeks from. No, I think actually no, I think it is 3 weeks' time. We've got the draft coming on. So got enough time for that at least. But if you do want to be racing in the league, you really do need to be passing trials over the next week or so, really. That's what you're looking at. Otherwise, you'll be struggling. Um, Trial on Sunday. Yeah, I do believe so. I mean, there might be one on Thursday as well. I won't be able to make the Thursday one. I might be able to make Sunday, but I won't be able to make Thursday. But yeah, either way, yeah, the best thing for you two though, if you drive cleanly enough and get in for next week, that'll be your best bet if you did want to join up for season 7. But anyways, I'm gonna leave the stream there. Some good racing, some pretty poor racing, particularly in the first couple of races, but definitely picked it up in the last couple of races. Anyways, thank you for watching. We've been UFRL. That's been the 5 lappers, followed by the 25% at Brazil. Hayes are taking the title on that one, and we'll be back at some point soon. Thank you for watching, and good night.